Alright guys, welcome back. So I want to show you this. This is twice on quality control for an alternator. Okay, look down here on how far that pin is coming out. Let me try and get the camera down in there. I mean, literally, it just rattles out that far. I mean, it's still producing still producing a charge and stuff. But look what it's doing. Okay. I mean, this is twice. I've had two alternators, this style. Two alternators that style like this that have caused me grief and problems. I could tear it apart and rebuild it, but you know what? I'm tired of that style, so I decided to go with a Mechman and go with this newer style type of alternator here. So let me pull it out, and the wiring's a little different, of course. I have to, get that all fixed up that way, but I mean, it's getting frustrating. And it comes with a different type of pulley. If you want to go with the serpentine belt. It's just getting really annoying how you buy parts now and literally they're junk. I mean, I've had that alternator, what, a year? So let's move it down a little bit here. So this one will be a little bit better set up, and then I just need one wire going in there, from the battery. I'm gonna put a diode on that one too, because something happened also on this one. Gave me a lot of feedback through. So what it is, it burnt the wire going that way. So I don't know. So I'm gonna put a diode from here, from the firewall, and going that way. And whatever, if you don't know what a diode is, the electricity, because electricity, if you have wire, it can go either way, and it can surge back. A diode will stop it, and so it only goes one way. So that diode will stop, from it going back the other way. So I got the diode and I'm going to replace this. But like I said, it's frustrating. It really is, on stuff like this. You buy something, and you expect, you expect it to last. Well, anyway, this is 140 volt or amp, and they only had for high amperage on this one the 170, which is fine because it self-regulates. So, but still that way, because I have a lot of more electronics in my vehicle, than what it originally came with. So, all right. So first thing I'm gonna do is disconnect that battery, and then I'll change out the alternator. Yeah, it's funny. Like, we shouldn't have to deal with this type of stuff, I mean, this is getting just insane. Okay, that's the size there. We shouldn't have to deal with this. I'll just go ahead and loosen these up first. Okay. Oh, get off there. There we go. All right. Alright, just get it a little loose, and then I'll get my wrench on here and loosen this up. But yeah, we shouldn't have to keep buying parts over and over again, or make them work. And like I said, it just gets frustrating in this hobby, because you buy parts and you're expecting it to work, and it doesn't work. It's very, very annoying. So, oh boy, I tightened that one. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it just gets super annoying on the aftermarket, you know, aftermarket parts that are just, they should, you know, work great, but they don't, you know. So it just makes you think, like, what the heck is going on? And it's just not me. I've seen other people on YouTube complain about the same thing. Just gets aggravating over and over and over and over again. You know, when you buy a part, especially, you know, you're sinking a couple $100 here and there. You expect it to work. I try to buy the best quality parts that I can. You know, always, but you know, some things are just way overpriced, in my opinion, and sometimes you got to go the cheaper route. So, you know, we'll get this figured out. Like I said, it's just frustrating. How many things have you guys bought, and you know, just didn't work out, you know, in some form or way. Like I said, it just gets so frustrating. Oh man, I better get my different set here. All right, gotta take these off. Let's see, that's half. Take my wiring off. I'll be right back. Might have to remake my new wiring, because I made these custom to go just to these points. So we'll see. See, the whole thing. And you can tell, I don't know if you can see it, but the threads are flat. So this doesn't even screw in. Something broke off in there. Oh man. Yep, very, very frustrating. So, okay, let's pull this off. All right. There we go. And this Mechman is supposed to fit these older Chevys. It's specifically made to do that. So we will find out. Let's see, where's the other? Down in there. Can't see. Let's see, we gotta. Size the bigger one. Yep. All right. I wish I had a ton of money to just keep, I don't know, let's just say re-engineer this car, you know, get a bunch of people in here and just re-engineer everything, and then I'd sell all these parts and everything to everybody else too, and then everybody could have like a really nice retro mod. I think that would be really, really cool for the hobby. You know, but let's see, where did I do it? Oh, there. All right. Bring this up. That back in. Here. Okay. Now, if I had a metal hood, I would be doing, because this power, I'll show you if you can't see here in a minute, but the power is on the top now, okay? So I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that with a metal hood, because if your hood by chance touches that, then you definitely wouldn't want that. So I'm gonna have to. All right, so then this is what it looks like with it in. Of course, this is the battery top. This all, like I said, this one sits on top, and you should be okay with a hood, but you know, I'd take extra precaution if you did have a metal hood. Okay. So I think I'm gonna bring and do the ground right there, and then see, when I made this, I didn't, like I said, I made it specifically for that length. That's all right. I got extra cable, no big deal. I can make that extra length, and then down here, then I have to cut that, and then add this up to this little wire here. So it's not that big of a deal, but I need to put that diode in and that little burnt wire. So I'm just gonna retake some wires and fix that. But let's see. Look at this. Let's see, where is it on camera? Look how flat it went. Can you see? That was what went inside to the old alternator. You can't see, it's just, I don't know. The quality control. It's very frustrating. And like I said, I could tear apart that old one and fix that. But okay, so got that on. I'm gonna tighten up the belt, get everything on there, kind of get it in place, and then what I'm going to do is just do the wiring, okay? So, but I think that'll look okay. And this one, I might have paid more, but at least it has a 2-year warranty, and the other one didn't. Okay. And then that's the spec sheet, 147 amps, and then once you get it up at 193 amps. Okay, let me get this on and we'll come back. But yeah, that looks just fine. The black matches, matches that right there, so looks good. Okay, so good news is I was able to move those positive and negative cables over a little bit from the from where they're mounted down here. So that's good news, because that way I don't have to rebuild. I don't have to rebuild any of the wiring, so they reach. All right, so that's good news. Tighten those back up. All right, so now we have this wire, though I have to rewire. The brake one. Come on. Ooh, that don't come off. I did the wiring too well. But anyway, I have to get the one wire up to this one, so it's just a real easy thing. All right, so that's your diode. Come on, focus. Okay, see where it has that stripe? So this going that way is going to go towards your alternator. Basically, that's your stop. If it focus. But anyway, so that's your stop. So when I put it in, I need, at least to here, I need to have it attached going that way, okay? And then that will, like I said, prevent any electricity from going back into the system. All right, so that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm just going to make the diode off of here. I think I'm just going to use the very end of it, because that way when I come down, let's see if I can show you. Got to plan this out a little bit. So when because it's going to be plugged in like that, okay? And I don't want that big diode, because it's not very bendable or anything like that. So I kind of want it to be at the end of it. That way it's more in the middle. So really, that's all I'm going to do, is I'm just going to attach that diode at the end of that and heat shrink it. And with this little kit, though, it comes with heat shrink. I got plenty of heat shrink, but it comes with heat shrink, and it comes with the actual crimpers that you would use, because these are a different type of crimper for that diode. So because you'd want that diode to go into there and crimp really hard, and then you'd want to use the heat shrink on top of it, and then of course the big heat shrink over the top of it. All right, so that's what that is going to do. So there it is, crimped. Come on, focus. Let's see if I can move it out. All right, so there it is, crimped. So see, then I can bring that all the way up and heat shrink it, and it'll cover everything. Same on the other end, and then I can put the bigger one, and the bigger one will go completely over it, like so. So it's a nice little setup. And that's basically your ignition wire. So, and then like I said, I got that little stripe going towards that way to block it from coming back. I'll show you where that wire burned up. I caught it before it completely burned up, but I have to replace that. So I have the new pigtail that goes in there, and I'll just rewire this little section there, and with the diode we should be fine. But once that old alternator did its thing, it shot back through. So that's that's what caused this burn here. Okay, so you look at the pin. I have to clean this up, but it's that second pin right down in there. I'll have to push that out. So maybe the best thing, let's see. Yeah, I'll have to pull it out. So I'm just going to cut it and see if I can push it through, and then put in this new one, and then that will get me set back up, ready to roll. Lesson learned on that, so it is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that, and like I said, then we'll come back and maybe fire up and see if everything and cross our fingers, let's hope everything works. Okay, so to get that out, all you have to do is squeeze this down, you know, this way, and then it'll just pull straight out. So that's how you get the old one out. Really easy. It's just, and then just slides right out, and then you just stick in the new one, and the new one will clamp in the way it's supposed to. So I don't know if you can see the difference after I clamped it, but technically, I mean, I probably could clean this up maybe. I don't know. It's not worth trying to clean it up and reuse it, but you could if desperate needs came to it. But like I said, Gary was nice to send me one with that clip. Those clips are extremely hard to find. I don't know where he got them. I'm not going to ask questions. I'm just going to install them. So, all right. And then we can just take this, just stuff right in there. And then you can see that new one. It's the second one over. Well, it's the shiny one. So see, now that's in there, and we're ready to go on this. I'm gonna leave a lot of wire on this one. It gave me about a foot or two, and we'll just connect that. Once I redo this, then we'll connect that to the end of that, plug it in, and be ready to go. So some other things that I've noticed while I'm down here, as the car, you know, shakes and vibrates, you know, I noticed my fuse box came a little loose. I have to really tighten that down again. You know, because it's just rattling. So, but anyway, oh, never ends, never ends. All right, let me finish. All right, so on the end here, this is where the wire, where the wire burnt. That was my fusible link. So see, I can build another fusible link right here and reuse this section. So that's good. You know, like I said, it was just between there and here, and that, like I said, that's the fusible link. So it did its job, and you know, the car didn't catch on fire. So, but I am going to put between here, because this is a little bit bigger gauge. I'm going to put a little in between, another fusible link, just in case. So, you know, and then we should be able to throw everything back together, and maybe we'll take it for a spin. Looks like everything's running just fine. It's charging just like 13, maybe 14. You see, that's more straight. Okay, so that's where it looks like we're at. I haven't started it for a while, so I'm sure my battery needs a little bit of charging. And we'll watch it here for a second, see what it does. But we're looking pretty good. All right, took it around the block, ran really good. It's a little rich. You know, it's funny, like in the wintertime, I don't know if it's this carb or anything, but in the wintertime, when it's cooler, not so rich. In the summer, a little more rich. I don't know why, but anyway, ran really good. So anyway, that's it for today on that. And you know, like I said, sorry I'm kind of a little mellow and everything. I'm just trying to get over something, you know, that I had over the weekend, and it's just really kicked my ass. So I was just trying to take take a little extra precautions and be safe about it. But you know, I like the alternator. Kind of looks nice in there with the black. So you know, I don't know, I might go with black valve covers. I don't know. But yeah, I think that looks pretty decent, and hopefully that will give me no troubles for the life of the car. Because I'm done with alternators. You know, parts, like I said, parts are just a pain in the ass nowadays. I don't know how many times I've bought something and it didn't work. You know, you're getting quality stuff with like Willwood and those really good name brands. That's why I went with the, you know, the Mechman. You know, it's that's probably the highest dollar alternator you can get. So yeah, we'll go with that and see what happens there for a while. Okay, see you next time.